Hello and welcome to Musings by Amit Patel. You know that on this channel, I share my thoughts about very diverse topics. I talk about jobs, careers, selling, entrepreneurship. But today, I have a very important topic which I'm sure will be interesting for all of you, irrespective of who you are, whether you are in a 9 to 5 job, whether you are a person who is building your own business, whether you are a professional of some kind like a cricketer or an actor or someone who does his own thing. Yes, I'm going to talk about money today. What kind of a feeling does money invoke in you? Whenever I see that money invokes extreme feelings in everyone. Some people feel really guilty about having a lot of money, whereas there are others who feel ashamed because they don't have enough money. Money has this power, at the core of it, money has this power, the power to create something, or it has the power to destroy. You can start, you can fund a dream with money, or you can start a war. You can use it as a gift, or it can become a weapon in your hands. So money has this feeling where you might feel, uh, you will feel your spirits are high or creative or really happy if you have enough money, and you might feel frustrated or angry, or you might hate money when you don't have enough of it. And I've been through all these emotions about money since the time I started earning money for my living. Today, in this episode, in the philosophy of life, okay, I'm going to talk about financial wisdom. I'm going to talk about a few principles that I learned because of all the mistakes I made and because of the way in which I studied other people who either really uh, became free because of money or were stuck because of money. So why am I making this video on money? Because a few days back I uh, saw the news about Boris Becker. Boris Becker, the legendary tennis player, who's the only player in the world to hold the record for youngest person to win the Wimbledon. Yes, that record has not been broken in so many years. He's the person who was awarded the German Male Athlete of the Year for 4 years in a row. He's the person who's won more than 49 singles tournament and 6 Grand Slam awards. That guy, the person who's earned so much money and fame throughout his life, he had to go through a very sad thing. He has to sell off all his trophies and awards just so that he can clear the debts that he has on him. How did he get into this situation? In 2017, Boris Becker was declared bankrupt. So how much money do you really need in your life? How much money do you think you need? Okay, is $1 million enough to live a good life? Is $2 million in the bank good enough for living your entire life, of having everything that you want, of living a good life? Or is $25 million good enough? Boris Becker, during his career of 14 years, had earned $25 million. But in 1999, after he stopped playing professional tennis, After 1999, he made some really poor decisions. I will call it errors of judgment as far as money is concerned. And these errors, he kept on repeating these errors in such a way that by 2017, a court in London declared him bankrupt. And he had still a lot of people from whom he had taken money for a business that he had done, and that business went down, and with that everyone's money went down. But these creditors were asking for money from Boris Becker, and in 2019, that is now, finally he has to sell off all his trophies and awards so that he can pay back to his debt, to his creditors. Now, Boris Becker is not the only famous personality to have gone through this. There is Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson, our own Amitabh Bachchan. He's a legendary actor in India. He's one of the biggest stars in the Indian cinema. I remember in 1995-96, Amitabh Bachchan started a corporation called Amitabh Bachchan Corporation Limited to make films. But in that same year, in 1996, this company went bankrupt. It seems he lost 80 crore rupees in this company. And he was in such a situation. If you want to find out, go and watch the video by Arnab Goswami of Amitabh Bachchan. Amitabh Bachchan talks about how low he went because of losing all the 80 crore rupees in that business. And it was not just his money that he lost money of a lot of people who had invested in that business. He was in such a situation that he did not have work at that point of time, as well as he did not know how he's going to pay back to his creditors. But Amitabh Bachchan, being Amitabh Bachchan, he made sure he found a new way of doing work in the television, coming from the big screen to small screen, which everybody told him not to do. And he earned back every penny that he had lost. He not only earned it back, he repaid every debt that he had on his list. Now, these are two contrasting stories, but money can do that to you, that irrespective of how much you earn, if you do not build some simple disciplines, if you do not learn some few simple rules of managing money, then irrespective of what amount of money you earn during your lifetime, you can lose it all within a few days or weeks or months. I am making this video just so that all those people who are maybe starting your career now, or who have been in some kind of a job, or who are entrepreneurs, who are professionals, who are earning money, are facing some kind of a struggle with money. And I came up with some rules around money, and these rules are not something like an advice to you. I'm not giving you an advice. I'm not qualified to give you financial advice. These are some rules that I learned with my own journey of struggle with money. For the first 14 years of my career, I was living paycheck to paycheck, and I was struggling as far as money was concerned. I had to borrow money from the bank, I had to borrow money from my friends, I had to borrow money from my parents, and I was not able to make my ends meet. In 2008, I changed my track and everything fall in place. But after that, me and my wife sat down and we laid down some simple rules for managing our money. And I learned some simple principles which helped me in living a comfortable life. I'm not like Boris Becker or Amitabh Bachchan, who has $25 million in the bank, but I am someone who's understood how money works and have understood the few rules that you need to follow. And the earlier you start following these rules, the earlier you will be able to uh, become better as far as your finances are concerned. And why am I telling you this? Because money is all about freedom. If you have enough money in hand, it means freedom. If you have money, then it is security for you and your family. If you have money, then you can enjoy the good things in life. Maybe a good vacation. Maybe you can live in a better house. Maybe you can own a better car. Maybe you can fund your advanced education. I don't know what you want to do with your money, but whatever you do in this life, you need some money to go with it. So, I'm going to talk about these rules which I have learned over a period of time. The first rule is spend only as much as you can earn. This is a very simple rule to follow, but it is also the most difficult rule to follow. Often you will know that simple things are usually difficult to do. Okay, why? Because they are simple, everybody ignores it. Okay, you only spend as much money as you are earning right from beginning of your career. If you are earning 10,000, then your monthly expense should be less than 10,000. Okay, if you cannot save money, that is fine, but at least do not start getting into the debt right from beginning of your career. Okay, so only spend as much money as you can possibly earn. Okay, that brings us to the second rule. Invest your time and energy into building your skills and your attitude. Whatever money you earn in your life, whether you are in a job, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are a professional, like a professional musician or a film director or an actor, or any person who is earning money, he's going to earn money because of two things. One is the skills that he develops. Okay, what is your skill? What do you know? Are you a programmer? Do you know you are programming well? Are you a sales executive? Do you know how to sell really well? If you are an accountant, do you know your accounts really well? So it is the skill, the primary skill because of which people are ready to give you money. And the second but very important thing is your attitude, because you might have all the skills in the world, but if you do not have the attitude to carry that skill, then chances are that you are not going to get the good work that you need to do. You can see a lot of examples all around you, and you will find out that some person has amazing skills, but because of his attitude, he's not able to stick to a particular job, he's not able to do a business, or he's not being given work as a professional. Okay, so the second rule is invest in your skills, invest the time and energy into improving your skills and your attitude. The third is never work for free. Never work for free. If you are doing some volunteer work, if you are helping someone, that is a different thing. What I'm talking about is, if you are working for someone and that someone is using your work to get money, then you should get part of that money. Okay, so you cannot join a company and work for free. You can build your YouTube channel, or you can build your blog for free. You can write a book for free. You can take photographs for free. Okay, because that is an investment into your own assets. These are all assets. If you build your YouTube channel, this is an asset. Okay, if you write your own book, this is an asset, and you can sell your book to earn money. But when you're working for someone, when you're in a job for someone, for example, you're working to help someone to build their business, Don't do it for free. Okay, so that is the third rule, that never work for free. The fourth and very important rule is pay attention to the flow of money in your life. You know what is the flow of money, from where your money is coming in and where is it going? Pay attention to that. Okay, often it happens that people spend their entire salary before it even hits their bank account, and that happens because you don't understand what is your outgo versus your incoming. Okay, so have a clear idea about how the money is flowing into your life, from where the money is coming in. And generally people have one or maximum two or three incomes, that's it. Okay, if you are an entrepreneur, if you have built multiple income streams, then maybe you are having three four different income streams, but there are, the incoming part is very easy to track and you know from where this money is coming in. But the outgoing part is very difficult because there are so many things that you can spend your money on. So pay attention to the flow of money and make sure to follow the rule number one, that is spend less money than you can earn. The fifth rule is, once you have negotiated your contract, whether you are going in a job and you have negotiated your contract of how much salary you will get per annum, or you are a professional, maybe an actor who is asking for an acting fee, and once you have negotiated that contract and you have agreed to that amount, or you are an entrepreneur who's negotiating a contract with a client where you are going to get certain amount of money from the client based on the work that you will deliver. Once you have negotiated the offer, then forget about the money and focus on the work you have to deliver. This is very important. Okay, there are a lot of people, they are so obsessed about money that they forget that money is just a medium of exchange. Okay, and that medium of exchange is to uh, to give value to whoever is giving you that money. So once you have negotiated your contracts, once you have agreed to the price, to the cost, after that, don't think about money. Just think about delivering the value. Just think about doing that work in the best possible way so that you get another contract from the same person. So that if you are in a job, your income will go up as you keep on delivering on the work that you are doing. That is the rule number fifth. Once you have negotiated the contract, then don't think about money. Think only about, or focus only on the work you have to deliver. Avoid, the sixth rule is avoid borrowing money unless it is to save your life. You know, people say that life is everything, and that is true. And you can borrow money only if it is required to save your life. There was a time when I lost my job, and I was in such a situation that there was a lot of debt. I had the mortgage payment to make, I had various bills, I had to pay for my daughter's school fees. All these expenses were there. Okay, and I'd lost my job and I was not getting another job. I did not have money in the bank. And that was the time I borrowed money from one of my uncle. Now, this is the time you don't borrow money from credit card. This is the time you don't borrow money from the bank. This is the time you don't borrow money from anywhere where you have to pay interest, because you're already in trouble, you're already in minus. If you do that, then very soon you will go bankrupt. So what I did was I borrowed money from my uncle, and I told him that it is going to take some time to pay back this money. I have lost my job, and by the time I get my job and then I accumulate the money, I'll be able to give it to you in few months time. And he gave it to me, and that was for survival purpose. That was to save me and my family from coming on the streets. Okay, so don't borrow money unless it is to save your life, unless it is for your survival. That takes us to the seventh point, and the seventh point is, if you borrow money, then make sure that you work hard to pay it back as soon as possible. If you have any kind of a debt, you are in some kind of a burden. Your mind will always keep thinking about this money that you have borrowed. I told you that money can make you feel ashamed. The time when I had borrowed money from my uncle, I used to always feel ashamed whenever I used to make a call to him, because I used to think that I have to pay him back his money, okay, and what he must be thinking about me. So, if you borrow money, work hard and try to pay back all the money as soon as possible. Okay, make a plan, make sure that you are keeping aside a good amount of cash so that you can pay back. And if you can pay back, if somebody is ready to take the money in installments, why not? This leads us to principle number 8. Cash is more important than all your assets combined. You need to understand this. And cash, I'm not talking about physical cash. Cash in the bank is also fine. But money which you can immediately withdraw, money which you can use immediately. Okay? Your house is an asset, but you cannot sell your house and use the money. Okay, it takes time to sell the house, so you need money in the bank, you need cash in hand. Okay, the more cash in hand you have, the more freedom you are going to have. So learn, you need to find out a way so that you can save as much cash in hand. And fixed deposit is also a cash in hand, because you can break your fixed deposit at any point of time. But a mutual fund may not be cash in hand. There are mutual funds which have lock-in period from 5 years to 7 years. And if you are investing in that thinking that, okay, when I need it, I will have it, okay, you will have a big challenge. Okay, there are some life-saving instruments, but they will have a period in which you cannot withdraw that money. Okay, so cash in hand is more important than all the combined assets that you have. Okay, and strive to have as much cash in hand as possible. It can be in your bank, it can be in fixed deposit, it can be in recurring deposits, but it should be some place where you can access it immediately. Only lend your money to someone when you are comfortable with the idea that that money is not going to come back. Sometimes some people will borrow money from you. It can be your friend, it can be somebody you know really well, and they may be in real need. Now, if they are in real need at that point of time, you can help if you have enough money with you, but you help only when you have enough money with you. If you are struggling and you try to help your friend with that, then you will get into a problem where you're trying to now get back the money and that person does not have money. So lend money only when you are certain that, okay, even if this money does not come back, I'll be fine, I won't have a problem. Okay, I have lent money to people, and I have said, okay, fine, that's for them, and when they have money they are going to give it back to me, and it has worked out completely fine. I never had to go and ask back for the money, because in my mind I had enough money to take care of myself. The 10th point is to save as much money as you can whenever you can. In the initial years of my career, I was not able to save any money. I had no money in the bank, I had no money in my pocket. Whatever used to come every month used to get spent. In fact, I used to always spend more than What I used to get, I used to borrow from someone, I used to borrow from credit card, I used to borrow from a bank. Okay, so I was always in debt during that period. So there was no question of saving. But after I started understanding and after I started putting in this simple principles, okay, simple principles in place, after that I have started saving money so that I have enough money whenever I need it. Okay, so whenever you get some extra lump sum amount, you can put it in your saving. Okay, but again, save it in instruments where you can get it back immediately. Save it as cash as much as possible, maybe fixed deposit or recurring deposit, that is fine, but save as much money as you possibly can, because you don't know when things are going to go up and down. You don't know whether your job is going to work out the way it is working today. You don't know whether you are going to be earning the same amount of income every year. Okay, so save enough money, as much money as you can. Okay, and this is not just for people who are salaried, this is for entrepreneurs, this is for people who are professionals. Everyone needs to save as much money as they can when the flow of money is good, and you can spend excess money. There is no harm in buying a big car, there is no harm in buying a big house, there is no harm uh, in living a great life. There is no harm in that, based on how much money you have. You know, like if I am Boris Becker and if I can earn $25 million, yes, of course I will buy a big house, but I will also protect my money. I'll also protect my money so that I can protect my standard of living, I can protect my freedom, I can protect my security. So have savings as much as possible. That is the most important thing. Now, this is the final principle which I learned, and this I learned very hard way. You know, I lost a lot of money in schemes which people explained to me is going to make me rich. Okay, uh, when I bought a house, at that point of time, I went to the bank to get a loan, and the bank said it's good to have this loan, but along with the loan, why don't you also invest in this uh, particular it's kind of a policy that will protect you against bankruptcy. And I was like, okay. And I did not know it was a mutual fund scheme, and there was a lock-in period of 7 years, and I was paying like 10,000 rupees every month into this scheme. Now, after 3 years, I really needed money and I was not able to pay this 10,000 rupees every month. And I really wanted to withdraw from this scheme. And what I understood from the person at that point of time is this scheme is locked in for 5 to 7 years. And if I withdraw now, I will get less money than I had invested. And I had to withdraw it because I was in such a state that I needed money at that point of time. So I had to withdraw that money, but I lost a substantial amount of money. And this did not happen once, this happened twice, three times this happened. And then later on I understood, then when somebody comes to me with a scheme, then there are terms and conditions applied. Okay, what I have learned during this 23 years of my career is that there is not a single scheme on this planet which can give you returns over 15%. Okay, only people like Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, or some of the big investing minds can make money on stock market or mutual funds. But as far as the common people like me are concerned, I feel that if someone says there is a scheme to make more money, it's a scheme to lose money. And I always stay away from this scheme. I'm okay with a fixed deposit. I'm okay with investing in mutual fund where my money does not get locked in, where I can withdraw my money anytime, and it's okay if that money is sitting there and it is earning just 5% or 7%, does not matter, because I know that none of the mutual fund scheme can give you more than 10% interest. So the whole point I'm trying to make is that don't invest in schemes without understanding what it is. Don't invest in anything. Don't invest in a business without knowing what that business is. Don't even become a partner in a business where you don't have to invest money, but you are a 20% partner, because if that business goes down, your 20% will be then attached to that business. So be very clear when you are investing your money, when you are investing your time and energy in any kind of a partnership or anything. Okay, so these are some of the principles that I have learned over a period of 23 years about money. This is, you can call it, philosophy of life on financial wisdom. You can call this my philosophy of life on financial wisdom. And I thought I will make this video for a lot of you who may be starting out your career just now, or maybe struggling with money. And whatever I have said is not advice. I don't think you can follow these rules. These rules, I came up with these rules for myself because of what I saw in my experience. Okay, I know, I have a friend who who had a very humble beginning. He used to stay in a very small house with 7 people staying in the same one single room and a small kitchen and a washroom. They were staying in this small house, and I know him because I was very good friends with him during my high school years. And he went ahead because he had only education to bring him out of this poverty. He only had he knew that he had to study so that he can come out of this and make something out of his life. What he did is, he was one of the best students of our high school. He went on to do engineering. Okay, in engineering he came second in the entire university. Okay, entire university he came second. Then he uh, got through in campus interview for L&T. L&T is one of the premier engineering companies in India, and he worked there for 2 years, after which he went to do masters in US. And when he was in US, again he studied really hard and became kind of a topper in his college. He got through campus, he got 2 offers, one of HP, Hewlett Packard, and another of Intel. Now, the Intel offer, he first rejected the Intel offer, he went with HP, but after a few months, he switched to Intel. Since that time, now it's 20 years, he's been with Intel. He stayed in US for somewhere around 15 years, and during that time, he steadily built his income. During that time, he steadily built his assets in such a way that today he's kind of having 4 houses. He's bought 4 houses. One house he lives in, few of them he's given it on rent. He's had has enough cash in bank. Okay, and he's come out of that, from that humble beginning. If anybody knew his humble beginning, nobody can think that he's the same guy today who owns all these properties. And these properties are in Mumbai, one of the costliest cities in India. So you can imagine that a person can lose all his money by errors of judgment, which is repeated over a period of time, or build an empire, build a fortune by following a few simple disciplines in life. And if you take one thing from this video, it is that you need to take care of the money that you are earning. You need to know how much you are earning and how much you are spending. You need to build your fortune. Nobody is going to do it for you. You yourself are responsible for that. And once you understand the few simple rules of handling money, I am sure that you will be able to live a rich life. Okay, you'll be able to live a life of freedom. You'll be able to live a life of security. You'll be able to give your family whatever they need and whatever they want. I hope this video helps you. If you know someone who needs this video, then please share this video with them. Thank you very much. Stay focused, stay rich. See you in the next video.